In a tranquil coastal village, there lived an old fisherman named Mr. Liang. Known for his strength and wisdom, he had raised 3 children, his eldest son, Wei, his second son, Ming, and his youngest, Mei. Each had their unique personality. Wei was strong-willed and stubborn, Ming was inventive yet sometimes impatient, and Mei was kind-hearted but hesitant. Though the siblings loved each other, they often disagreed. Mr. Liang had always dreamed of his children running the family's fishing business together, but the constant conflicts among them left him troubled. One day, Mr. Liang's health began to deteriorate, and he realized he might not have much time left. Determined to leave his children a legacy of unity, he decided to teach them the importance of teamwork. He knew a lesson shared through words alone would not be enough. They needed to experience it themselves. One stormy evening, Mr. Liang called his children together and told them a story. He spoke of a time in his youth when a terrible typhoon had swept through the village, toppling trees and flooding homes. Those who tried to withstand the storm alone lost everything, but those who helped one another survived. The village had rebuilt itself stronger than before, thanks to their unity. The next morning, Mr. Liang led his children to the beach, where he gave each of them a challenging task. He placed a pile of rocks before them, instructing each to move their pile to a marker further down the shore. Eager to prove themselves, the siblings started working alone, each lifting the heavy rocks with all their might. But as the day wore on, the scorching sun and heavy rocks wore them down. Frustration bubbled up, and once again they began arguing over whose task was more difficult. Seeing their struggle, Mr. Liang quietly observed, then stepped in to remind them of his story from the night before. Sometimes, what seems impossible alone becomes achievable when we work together, he said with a knowing smile. The siblings decided to give his suggestion a try. They combined their efforts, with Wei lifting the heavier stones, Ming strategizing the best path, and Mei encouraging them with kind words and offering water to keep their spirits high. Together, they moved the rocks swiftly and efficiently, completing the task in a fraction of the time it had taken them to work separately. Their teamwork did not end there. That evening, as they returned to the village, they noticed that their father's fishing net was torn, a challenging task to repair alone. The 3 siblings decided to work together once more. Wei's strength helped him hold the net in place, Ming's clever hands quickly patched it up, and Mei's patience allowed her to weave the net with precision. By the time they finished, the net was stronger than before, symbolizing the strength of their newfound unity. As the weeks went by, Mr. Liang's health worsened, but he felt a deep satisfaction watching his children work together harmoniously. They had not only learned to set aside their differences, but also discovered that each brought a unique strength to their teamwork. The village, noticing their unity, began to admire and respect the family more than ever. One day, a massive storm rolled in, fiercer than any storm the village had seen in years. The winds howled, and the waves crashed onto the shore with tremendous force. Houses trembled, and many fishermen scrambled to secure their boats and supplies. Mr. Liang, now bedridden, could only watch in worry. His children knew this was a test of everything they had learned. Without hesitation, Wei, Ming, and Mei worked together to protect their family's boat and secure their fishing supplies. Wei used his strength to anchor the boat. Ming crafted makeshift barriers to shield their home from the rising waters, and Mei gathered neighbors, helping them to safety and reassuring those who were afraid. Their combined efforts not only saved their home, but also protected many villagers who had sought refuge there. When the storm finally passed, the village was left in ruins, but the people's spirits remained unbroken. The villagers praised the Liang family for their courage and unity. Inspired by their actions, the entire village began working together to rebuild their homes and lives, guided by the example set by Mr. Liang and his children. Months later, on his final days, Mr. Liang looked at his children with pride and contentment. His dream had come true. His children had become a united team, bound by love and respect. He knew that even when he was gone, they would continue to support one another, carrying on the legacy of their family and passing down the lesson of unity to future generations. After Mr. Liang's passing, the siblings kept his memory alive by sharing his story and the wisdom he had imparted to them. They became leaders in the village, known not just for their fishing skills, but for their unity and compassion. People would come from neighboring villages to learn from them. And the story of Mr. Liang's lessons spread far and wide, inspiring many to value teamwork and cherish the strength found in unity.